Good morning, students. Hope you all are doing well. Today we are going to study a very interesting topic, that is comparison between mitochondria and chloroplast. Comparison does not mean that one is superior than other. You might face comparison in your day-to-day life, but it does not mean that you are superior and someone is inferior and the vice versa. It is how important one is with the other. Here, both are cell organelles and both are equally important for the cell. We can see their role in plant cell, whereas mitochondria is only present in the animal cell. So, without any further delay, let's come to the topic. As you can see, the drawing indicates the similarity as the differences between the two. Mitochondria, very famously known as powerhouse of the cell. Why do we call it powerhouse of the cell? Of course, because mitochondria generates energy in the form of ATP and it stores in the particle called oxysome particle, where it will be utilized further for different functions. Like when I am speaking, it requires some energy. From where I am getting that energy? From the mitochondria. Whereas the plants have chloroplast for the very famous function called photosynthesis. So, photosynthesis occurs with the help of chloroplast because one of its components, which we will be discussing in details, has chlorophyll in it, which performs photosynthesis. Okay. So, what are the similarities between them? Both are double membranous structure, outer membrane and the inner membrane, and you will see a space in between the outer and inner membrane. We simply call it outer inner membrane space. You can also call it perimitochondrial space or periplastidial space. You might be thinking, what is the role of this? It has very important role, but we will be discussing it in the next class. Now, you see some projection which is innerwards in the mitochondria. These are called as cristae, whereas you see some structure here like stacks of coin. These are nothing but the stacks of thylakoid which forms granum. You can see many granum in a chloroplast. You can call them in plural granum. The liquid present inside the mitochondria is called matrix, whereas the liquid present inside the chloroplast is called stroma. I think this much is clear to everyone. Now, you can see the two granum is connected with each other through a structure called stromal lamellae. This is nothing but the flattened thylakoid itself. Both of the cell organelles have their own DNA. So here we can call it mitochondrial DNA, whereas here we can call it plastidial DNA. That is why these two cell organelles are also known as cell within the cell. One more reason behind that is they have their own ribosomes, which is of 70S type. Why do we call it cell within the cell? If you compare this with a bacterial cell, they have same composition of ribosomes and the DNA, where you can see that they can synthesize their own proteins and enzymes. They are not 100% dependent on the cell nucleus. So they both are called as semi-autonomous body. Now, one functional difference between both of them is this generates ATP in the oxysome particle by the process of oxidative phosphorylation. What is phosphorylation? The ATP forms by the process of addition of inorganic phosphate into the ADP and diphosphate. So the process of addition of phosphate is termed as phosphorylation, and here aerobic respiration occurs, that is the breakdown of food or the glucose in presence of oxygen, and that liberates the energy in the form of ATP. That is why the formation of mitochondria is called oxidative phosphorylation, whereas in this photosynthesis process in the chloroplast, it is having two steps phenomena, light reaction and a dark reaction. In the light reaction also, the ATP is being formed in the presence of light. So here the ATP formation will be called as photophosphorylation. That is the difference between the two processes. We will be continuing this in the next class. Thank you. Till then, stay tuned.